everyone, it's Annie here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make macarons and specifically how to bake macaron shells. I'm not going to go into detail about how to fill these macarons because I feel like that part is pretty easy. Now I've used two different recipes in the many years that I have been baking macarons. One of them came from a bakery that I briefly worked at. It was a French bakery, very famous. It's called Thierry's. I wouldn't say it's very famous. It's well known to people who are from Vancouver, I guess. The other one is from this cookbook that my sister got for me. So you guys can pick and choose which one you like better. It's not my recipe per se. I am just going to be going over techniques and what I think is important in baking macarons. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first tip is to always weigh your ingredients. I have all the ingredients listed down below, so I am not going to mention the weights and anything like that here. Once you have weighed it out, pulse your mixture in a magic bullet or food processor. And because I'm using a magic bullet, I am doing this in batches. If you are using a large food processor, you can probably do this all at once. And then I just sift this through a sifter just to make sure that I'm breaking apart all the almonds and I get a very fine mixture. And I do this twice, so after I've processed all my batches, I throw them back into the food processor and do it again. Now you want to add in your first batch of egg whites and just gently mix this together to get a sticky, wet, dough-like mixture. At this point, you can add in your food coloring, and I always use gel food coloring and I do not recommend anything else because as you can see, I am using quite a bit of color. If you are using liquid food coloring, you are adding way too much moisture. Once you're done, just cover it and set it aside. Again, here I am weighing my ingredients again, water and sugar, and I'm going to bring this up to a boil. Now always use a candy thermometer for this. And once it hits 110 degrees Celsius, you want to start on your other batch of egg whites and you want to warm it up with some sugar just to stabilize it. And while it's whipping, you're still boiling your sugar mixture. And once your eggs become stiff peaks, your sugar mixture should be good to go as well. And you just want to drizzle it into the bowl and make sure that it hits the side of the bowl first and go into the egg whites, opposed to getting drizzled onto the whisk and getting spun all over the bowl. That's not fun. About 15 minutes later, you're going to get a white fluffy mixture, and at this point you can add your meringue into your earlier almond and egg white mixture. You want to add this in batches just so you can keep an eye on the consistency of this batter. If you're a beginner, you want to stay on the thicker side opposed to the runnier side because it does get a little bit harder to work with. Now you'll notice I still have a lot of egg whites left in my bowl. I'm not going to use all of it. So this is the consistency that I'm looking for, and at this point you can add it to your pastry bag. And the other tip is to use a smaller tip if you're a beginner, just so you have more control while you're piping.
Now give it a twist and stuff some of the piping bag into that tip so it doesn't flow out while you're adding the batter. And stick it in a cup so that it kind of stays upright while you are adding your batter. Now lastly, you want to use a template. You can draw it, print it. I just used a little spice cap and I drew it on another piece of parchment paper and reused it for all of my baking trays. And this just acts as a guideline, so you get the same size for all of your macaroons. And you want to give it a quick tap to remove excess air bubbles and put it in a oven that's preheated to 350 and immediately turn it down to 325. Now I played around with a lot of different temperatures and timing, and this is what worked for me. Now the reason that I use tinfoil is so that the bottom continues to bake and the top does not brown. So you can see these are now baked and you can go ahead and fill them. Now if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel for future videos like this. Thanks so much. I'll see you guys next time.